Oh no. Hey everybody, welcome. Sorry for the mute. International Master Willam Paschall. We're streaming here, subscriber stream, Blitz and classical chess and game analysis with subscribers. With my subscribers, sorry guys, you missed like all the shit that I just said for 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. Why didn't somebody say something sooner? Occasionally that happens. I don't know why. It just randomly. Sometimes the OBS just like changes the settings like 1 out of 10 times when I turn it off and on, and I didn't have time. I kind of started the stream quickly here because I just finished a lesson and I didn't want to cut my students short, so I'm sorry for the late start and for the lack of sound there, but the important thing is we don't have drop frames. Saroche, good to see you. Protagon, thank you guys for letting me know. I wouldn't have figured it out. We're gonna do game analysis and Blitz. If you guys want to, play me, challenge me to anything between 5+3 and 8+3, casual chess. FM Dark Horse has modified his challenge to 3+1 now. No, I'd like to play Dark Horse, but I'm not gonna do like really fast Blitz. And anyway, this is a subscriber stream, so. Kruken, I'll play you later. Maybe off stream. Slagy's son. Slagy's son, yeah, you're not a subscriber, so we might get in a couple games with non-subscribers if we have no other challenges. I'll play the quick game with him. Okay, 5+3. I'm not going to play the Kruken challenge. It's like 3+1 is really fast. Sorry, Yuri, but I need time to drink my beer and relax here with my subscribers. Alright, so just a quick game, a non-subscriber challenge. You guys, I'll wait for the subscribers to join us and play some games with them when we get started. So Bishop G5, I like this move G6, the so-called dragon variation of the rouser. I have a game from June, but it's not in the database because the organizer didn't send in the games. So that's good. Nobody will know that I play this variation when I go to like play someone in a tournament. I had a game with Sean Kuhendi from Indonesia where I was playing black for the first time in this line. Back in June, I got a good position. I got the advantage, but I was unable to win actually. Now Bishop B5. I think that's actually a normal move. It takes away the b5 square from the knight. Nefedov sent me some game to analyze. If you guys want to go ahead, send me a message on lichess if you have a game to analyze from anywhere, from your own games, from Grandmaster games. Soltigo, hi. Spewriki. Spewriki is one of I think he's one of Tricks Only's fans. Let's see, castles. Well, I've got no time to worry about other stuff here. I've got to get castled. Bishop G7. No bullet chess here today, guys. Just like slow games. 5+3 is the fastest I'm gonna play. You're his biggest fan, not just any fan, the biggest fan. The biggest and best. The biggest or best. Alright, I'm not gonna look for an exchange of bishops here in this position. We gain an important tempo. Our bishop is lurking on the long diagonal. It's a very powerful piece. What my friend Emil Solansi refers to as the Jolly Joker. Jolly Joker is like the European terminology for a wild card, basically. Am I going to have problems with my d6 pawn for real here? Well, I guess I can play queen c7. This actually reminds me of a game I just saw, Slagy's son. Brother of Levante Vaida. With the tactical shot. Knight d5, I just looked at this with my student, but I'll just roll the queen over to b7, I guess. Oh, that's sick. I might have to actually play... it doesn't work here. Knight d5 takes, bishop c6. Man, then he has bishop b5. But that probably doesn't work either. I just take, queen takes a8 check. So there's some tactics, but they seem to fall short. I have to keep f7 protected, d6 protected. Is the usual time for Thursday 7 p.m. CEST? I had to start a couple minutes late because this is our subscriber stream, by the way. So I'm just taking a random challenge. We didn't have any other challenges from our subscribers yet. Subscriptions are still half price at this time on Twitch. Hint, hint. So if you want to try subscribing, see if you like it. It's only half price. Now we're going to go where? Back down to g4? Nah. I don't know. Bishop g4 is kind of interesting. But I think I'll just go back where I'm compact. Compacto. Slaggy Sun. I mean, 1793, dude. It's a good thing this is not a rated game. He's playing ultra subtly here. Played a lot of strong 1700s this week. It feels early, says Soltigo. I had too much coffee earlier, and I kind of like got a little bit hyperactive, so I need a beer to kind of chill myself out. Uppers and downers. We're just abusing all kinds of drugs here, caffeine, alcohol. We're gonna play all the challengers, guys. Feel free to send a challenge. Get in the list here. Also, game analysis with subscribers. Nefudov sent me a challenge. Not a challenge, a game to analyze. Okay, this is totally crazy. White just played e5. Okay, that does not work at all. What are you doing? I could even take with the d-pawn, but I mean that would... Slaggy Sun, I thought you played this really ultra subtly, and now you freaked out with e5. Just when I was going to be proud of you. Just when I was about to be proud of my African son. He's from Uganda, I think. Uganda. You played the crazy e5, going completely nuts. Not a good idea. d5. Now we just take over. d5, pawn takes pawn. I look for every kind of weird intermezzo. Kamikaze chess. Oh, it's awful. Chess Patzer UK. Played a draw against me in there was some tournament yesterday. It was like standard or something. It was a pretty good game, if I remember correctly. By both sides played pretty well. It's hard to remember everything. Starting a little bit late, guys, because I had a lesson right up to the last minute. Soltigo saw a variant that looks fun. What? Called Dark Chess. Sounds like something for Darth Vader. The dark side. Anyway, I've got no other challenges. This is a subscriber stream. So I'm waiting for the subscribers to send me some challenges. Not many of them here yet. Protagon. Ayesta was here. I haven't seen a challenge from you. Ayesta, are you holding off on the challenge for any particular reason? Okay, we're just rolling with the rook, rolling with the bishops. The bishop pair, very strong. He's got tons of weaknesses. I mean, this is just basically game over. It's never over till it's over. This is just a safe move. I mean, I was looking at other stuff like bishop a6, but the important thing is that the bishop is dead. Now he's going to turn into like Nimzovich. But that's a pawn sack. It's a little greedy to take the pawn on b2, but it's kind of like, well, I mean, this is a whole pawn. Nothing but the whole pawn. You know, he could play c3, bishop a3. It's going to be hard to blockade these pawns, ultimately. He does gain a little bit of time, but it's 5 plus 3. I keep forgetting. So now, yeah, maybe I don't really want you to take my bishop. I like my bishop paired the way it is. We can deal with his knight on d4 for now, and regroup this guy. He's all over the map here. Queen g3 with the idea of bishop d6. That looks pretty invasive. However, he has queen h6. Rather subtle threat. Now I have to be careful. I'm a little bit concerned about that, actually. Queen h6. Yeah, we have this. It's very unnatural to bring my rook off the f-file. That's why I didn't want to do it. Where are all the subs at? I don't know. I sent a misspelled message yesterday. Maybe that's the problem. I very quickly typed out a message for the subscribers to know we had the stream. Yeah, he just quickly played queen h6. But our two bishops. They didn't appreciate my misspelled invitation to today's. Now this feels pretty solid, man. It's locked down. We're up 2 pawns. We're just up 2 pawns. Maybe even bishop takes at this point. I'm so tired of dealing with that bishop on b3. You know, it's a concept that people like chess authors haven't really dealt with at all. The whole idea, did I just lose a pawn? Oh my god, I just dropped my pawn back. Well, what choice did I have, actually? Dude, this is just on prise. He just believed me. That's really fortunate. I mean, if he takes that pawn, it's going to be a difficult win for black, actually. I mean, it's kind of a tough grind, you know, just 1 pawn up there on the king side. No, apparently I have h6. Doesn't really help. I mean, this is not an easy position to win. The computer is claiming that I have more than a pawn advantage here. I mean, I could potentially win his a pawn and have a very strong outside pawn, but it's by far better than anything else he could have hoped for. He was saying you used to play his tournaments. Do you remember Adam Rauf? I did play in one of his tournaments in just one. I played in York. In 1999. I remember. It was a good tournament. I beat. I didn't. You know, I gained some rating points. I didn't make a norm. I think. I beat a bunch of good players in that. I lost to Keith Arkle. And I beat Irina Krush and George Zool, and or maybe I drew with Zool. I beat Mark Quinn and Colin McNabb and maybe someone else. I think I was like +2. Was back a long time ago. Okay, guys, I'm going to do this Nefedov analysis. We don't have any challenges yet, so I welcome your analysis games if you're a subscriber. And otherwise, we're going to play some Blitz and Classical Chess. Yeah, so as far as Adam goes, yeah, I haven't seen him since that one time I played in the Uruk Vikings. It was a GM tournament. Oh no, Nefedov played with Yellow Dragoon, one of our former subscribers. God, these guys have some high Centipon loss here. Jeez. So your Schliemann's really getting perfected there, Nefedov. Nefedov has given me some difficult games lately in the Schliemann. I've been playing like knight c3 every single game. So now he's well healed in how to play against my secondary, line. Actually, I played this line with like take. I told Nefedov that he should probably learn to play knight f6. I think that's the best option for black, but he's been insistent on playing knight takes e4 d5, and I don't know the theory well enough. It looks like knight takes e5 is quite strong for white. I'm not sure what the final analysis is there, but it's a lot to learn theoretically. So I've been playing knight g3, and I don't get very much in this variation, but it's a safe line that Karpov played in a couple of games. Anyway, so Nefedov now facing d4 against Yellow Dragoon. What do you think of the queen e2? Yeah, queen e2, I don't know. This is a rare move. I'll have to look at it. I really don't know what to say. It looks like it has some interesting results there. Statistically, it looks quite interesting. On balance, it seems like you're bringing the queen out early. Probably black should be okay. But it might well be as good as any other move for white. So there is that statistic there that stands out very, very strongly. I mean, 31 games is not really, it's not statistically relevant, but still, maybe it's not exactly just a blip on the radar. I mean, white's score is pretty monstrous, 61. So people clearly don't know what to do on queen e2. So d4. Okay, this is a famous line, this piece sacrifice line. And the theory goes really, really deep. I don't know what the final analysis is, but I guess that black is supposed to be okay. It's just that in a practical game, like I always thought, it might be difficult to play either side here. In a fast time control or something. I had two friends who used to battle in this variation. Black was the weaker of the two. I don't know what the theory, has changed or what. But I feel like I'm having deja vu, Nefedov. Why do I have a feeling of having deja vu? Did you show me a game in this line before? Soltigo said, donated a game. He donated a game. He donated a game that I just played and lost. Donated, like, would imply that your game came with, like, a financial, benefit or something. Okay. Thanks, Soltigo. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm focusing on the subscribers, so I'm going to accept their challenges today, mostly. Maybe I'll play a game or two with other players between game analysis and subscriber challenges. So this is all theory. It's good for Yellow Dragoon because he's like a very tactical type of player who's he's got a very good memory and he remembers a lot of very long lines. So I guess he's attracted to this, but it looks like it's really not the best for white. It can be analyzed. We could probably analyze this variation to death with the computer. So castles, it's all theory. But as I said earlier, I'm having deja vu. Nefedov, are you there? Did you show me one of these before? I'm pretty sure you did, or somebody did. It had to be you. Clash Kid is challenging me. I remember Ilya Gurevich. He's kind of a forgotten GM because he won the World Junior and then he kind of quit and went into the financial industry a few years after winning the World Junior. He lives in San Francisco. Ilya used to play the Schliemann with black in Blitz a lot. So this is like all theory. Now, it seems weird to take with the king, though. Nefedov, it's a very strange... It's a very, very strange move for me to take with the king here. Why would you possibly take with the king? That is really weird. He took with the king in a 30-30 classical game. This is his only mistake, but it's such a strange mistake. Like, there's no reason to take with the king here. The rook is doing nothing on a8 anyway, and your king stays closer to the center. That's a kind of gimme. He just gave Yellow Dragoon like a tiny edge with this waste of tempo. White could theoretically put a rook on the 7th here. Easier for white to play in practice. You know, the 2 pawns and the rook can sometimes in the endgame become quite strong. The 2 pawns, potentially 2 connected passed pawns. I don't really see that materializing here, you know, because the material is like the pawns are balanced. 3-on-1 majority, 3-on-2 majority on one side, 2-on-1 majority on the other side. So it's probably a draw. The black has to be more careful. Got a nice king position. Looks like the computer thinks that... Wow. Kind of almost a lucky save for black here. That's really amazing. Nefedov, like you actually planned this out. It looks like you're losing a piece. I mean, otherwise he might have won this game. He was making progress, and it's like he went into this just assuming, like most people, I'm 2 pawns up and a king and pawn ending. I must be winning, but the king is too active. This is irrelevant, and now black actually has the initiative on the king side, so white has to be careful not to lose here. And now it's actually better for black because he has the outside pawn. I would think that black would even have winning chances. G5. What happens if you play H4? I guess when you play H4, white plays F4 or something? Is that the idea? Can I play this? No, that loses. Duh. So H4, King G2. White also has a waiting move if he needs it with C3. Well, that was a good game. But I can see, okay, it was 30-30. 30-30 time control allows you to play a pretty good quality game. So, I don't know, Nefedov. I think you need to change that, you know, maybe change that variation in the other line, or at least we got to see what you're going to do against D5 in the other line. I'm not concerned about this line or the line that I play, but I am concerned about what you're going to do. I am concerned about what you're going to do in the event of somebody challenging you in this line with knight takes e5. I think this has got to be the real question. You know, can you withstand the main line in this variation? That's the question, because it looks very bad when we went through this last time on the stream. I talked about this line. I went through some variations. White is like up a pawn according to the engine. I mean, that's like massive. A pawn up is, it's like too much. But I don't know what the latest games are telling us in this. So you can tell me better. Maybe you know better than me. Let's play a blitz game. Clash Kid is a subscriber. If you guys want to subscribe, it's half price on Twitch until the 18th. Till next week. Clash Kid, good evening. Ever thought of doing this without the computer backup? I'd love to hear your general thoughts. Yeah, we could definitely do that. I mean, I know that, you know, there's all this talk now about Maurice Ashley and using computer analysis. It's an interesting suggestion. Yeah, we could do non, you know, it's a good suggestion. I'd like more suggestions of that kind from the viewers. I don't get enough good suggestions from you guys as far as other things to do, like analysis without computer, like one session like that. I try not to use the engine too much, but then we all get sucked into doing that. I think it's like it's hard to ignore it, you know. But I think with the opening analysis, we really have to use it when we're preparing our opening seriously, which is what I'm trying to do there with Nefedov. Try to kind of, you know, prepare him theoretically in that Schliemann. But it's a very good suggestion, Chesspatzer UK, to have like a non-engine analysis day or something like that. All right, good suggestion. Let's start the game here. So, all right, I'm a little bit brain dead. I'm gonna play knight f3. I played this move like on. I can play this move on autopilot. The more you play something, like the more you can play it subconsciously. With other moves like e4 that I don't know so well, I really have to think. Not so happy to see g6. I think that this is really hard. I'm gonna play c4, just to try to confuse Clash Kid a little bit. Oh, c6 anyway. I was hoping for like a symmetrical English or something, you know, but we can't really avoid this ultra annoying Grunfeld. The only other moves are like queen b3 and queen b3 here. I'm not sure if that's really correct or not. Queen c2. Symmetrical. Mainline Fianchetto Grunfeld. I mean, I started playing chess in the mid 80s. I first learned, like, I first played in my first unrated tournament. Believe it or not, I think it was like 1984. It's not fiction. I had kind of lost track of the dates when I was a kid, and I think I was in like 7th grade, and I played in an unrated tournament in 1984. But anyway, the point of my story was that Anatoly Karpov and Kasparov had their first match. I believe it was 1984. And Karpov and Kasparov had a number of battles in this Fianchetto Grunfeld. Piece of sheet, Sheppy. We don't have too many subscribers with us today. I actually have quite a few subscribers, but they're just not showing up for their own stream. That's alright. We'll have fun with or without them. Okay, 95 now. There was this guy who used to come to my stream who's disappeared from lichess. He played one time knight takes e5 against me, which actually isn't that bad for black. Kind of a rare line. Supposedly, like, whoever plays knight e5 or knight e4 first kind of gets a little bit of an initiative. International Master Ed Formanek played bishop f5 against me here, and I think Fischer played this move, bishop f5. The modern treatment is e6. I didn't know what to do when Formanek played bishop f5 against me. I was like freaking out. I ended up losing the game. I have a bad score against that guy. He was playing in the National Open in Las Vegas in like May, and his rating is like 2200. This is a guy who was like 2500 in like 1993. I mean, USCF 2500. And he was in really good shape for his age. How is he like 2200? I mean, even at his worst. It's hard to imagine. Knight g4. Excuse me. That move is similar to knight takes e5 followed by knight g4, but he's playing knight g4. Oh man, okay, so taking on g4, taking on d5. It almost looks like I have to play f4. I've never seen this move. It looks incorrect, but symmetrical positions are like the weirdest positions to play sometimes. Sheppy said he played bishop f5. Yeah, I mean, I just like tried to do some kind of Tarish thing where I like took on c6 and blockade Formanic's c pawn with like knight a4, and I just like, not only did I get nothing, but I actually got slightly worse and lost. I mean, I was lower rated than Ed. Ed was like 2,500, and I was probably like 2,300. But now he's like a 70-year-old sandbagger. Knight g4. All right, I don't see anything better than f4. I had a draw with him a couple years ago. Well, it was like, I played him again like 8 years ago at Foxwoods, and I was just kind of having fun at the tournament and not really serious, and I just like agreed like a 10-move draw. He was like 2,300. But the guy had like a lifetime score against me of like 2 wins and 2 draws. I never beat him. It's always hard to play against somebody who you don't feel like, you know, you've had a good lifetime score against. You're going to cook up some... Oh, Saltigo is from New England. Okay, yeah, he's talking about seafood. Dude, don't do that, like, while I'm hungry, okay? And I'm hungry and I'm like trapped in a landlocked country, Saltigo. And you're talking about seafood. That's just not nice. When are you going to do a drunk stream? I'm trying, but I only have 1 beer here, so yeah, it would be a good idea, but I should probably... Wow, he went back to f6. What is he doing? So Karpov's favorite maneuver is like bishop bishop e3, bishop g1. There were also some really wicked games that Karpov played against Kamsky. I think in their like candidates match, when Karpov was still really strong, Kamsky played a candidates match against Karpov like in 90. Well, I want to say like 94. My dates could be a little bit off. I'm not sure. It might have been like 95. Yeah, Karpov took him out, I think. But it was close. Now bishop e6. Okay, it's a solid position for black. I mean, I don't know where to put this bad bishop. As weird as it seems, we're going to do the Karpov system. The bishop sort of tucks its way, it tucks itself away here on g1. But like, I guess later on we can play like h3, bring it back into the game. It just develops, you know. The alternative is like b3 and bishop a3. But then you've got to watch out for stuff like queen a5. World Loser, what's up? So I don't know about the drunk stream. You know, maybe, you know, just fate will decide one day. I'll be totally on tilt. But I'm trying to cut back. Usually I only drink when I'm playing poker lately, which is not a good idea anyway, but no, I wouldn't do it when I was playing seriously. Okay, rook c8, good move. Maybe I shouldn't be in a rush to play this mechanical move, rook c1. We could continue with like bishop g1. Or we could look at other moves here, connecting the rooks with queen d2. It's kind of tough. I've got to watch out for, you know, knight here. But I want to get my rooks connected and control the c file, fight for control of the c file. I've got to be able to play b3. maybe at some point. But, you know, I'm not an expert on the white side of the Fianchetto-Grunfeld. I actually have kind of a crappy score. I lost a game in Bermuda in 2003 against this... I played this really good tournament. I started really well. I was like +3 in a GM tournament, and then I lost to like the lowest rated player on the white side of a Grunfeld. I don't even... Volkmar Dinstuhl, some German I am. It just basically destroyed my tournament. That's like the last time I think I played the Fianchetto-Grunfeld in a serious game. But I used to play it when I was kind of like coming up as a class player. Bigfoot is always drunk. Well, I've been trying to improve my reputation, not make it worse. Okay, Queen A5. So it looks like he's dropping a tactic here. Knight takes C6 followed by knight takes D5. Kind of like a classic King's Indian tactic. Unless he's got some kind of queen sacrifice, which is not out of the question. Knight takes C6. Is my knight going to get trapped? No. There is a possibility, like knight takes C6. B takes C6, knight takes D5, queen takes D2, knight takes E7, check, king H8, bishop takes D2, that my knight would get trapped on E7. But actually, in the real world, it's like probably not going to happen. So we take here. It should be good, right? Unprotected queen. Now, unless he's got a queen sacrifice, which, like, I didn't really analyze. Knight takes D5, Larry Christensen style, like, queen takes D5, bishop takes, king G1, no. Possible I missed something. But it looks good. But anyway, like, I mean, the Fianchetto-Grunfeld, it's a very specialty kind of variation. I think you have to know this extremely, extremely deeply. I can also take on E7, check, king H8. I was thinking about knight takes F6, bishop takes D2, bishop takes D4, and then like bishop takes, but I'm only up a pawn there. This has got to be right. I mean, C6 is attacked 3 times. He's not going to trap my knight in this position. Black has just lost. So, I'm kind of fortunate. He was messing around. I mean, he knows it less than I do. So, piece of sheet is Polish. Are you Polish from Poland? Or Polish, like, of Polish origin, living somewhere else? Of Polish heredity, or like a legitimate born in Poland, kind of like our moderator. Piece of sheet, I honestly assumed you were like American based on the slangy sound of your handle. Yeah, Clash Kid just lost his mind. So, I'm curious if this is even like normally book. Well, knight g4 is totally new to me. Wow, so it's theory. It's such an... I mean, this move goes completely against principle. It's so weird. Let's decentralize a piece without developing. I mean, it does open the bishop on g7, but damn, that feels wrong. So f4. Yeah, I mean, he may have been too quick to kind of jump back to knight f6 here. I played like David Navarra. Poland is the 52nd state. You mean like Puerto Rico is the 51st or something? Alright. He quickly went back with knight f6. Well, he was better in some moment. Heikki Kallio against Fogarashi. Played both those guys. Fogarashi did this. Wow, we played like Heikki. Heiki's kind of a weird guy. He's a little bit antisocial. He also plays poker, I think. Bishop e3, but he seemed like a good guy. Bishop e3. I played king h1. This is a novelty. This is apparently a mistake, so maybe e3 or bishop e3 as Heikki played like right away is probably interesting. Computer always says e3. It's so lame for white looking. A lot of white square weaknesses. This is S Big Lutz against John Nunn. Doctor. John Nunn Doctor. I got 11 cent upon loss. Perfect game. Not really though. Do we have anybody else who sent me something to analyze? Arsenal fan Richie, where's he at? Canada is the 51st U.S. state. Okay, I thought it was Puerto Rico. Apparently not. Okay. So Soltigo always gives us something to kind of laugh about here. Usually he sends us some kind of crazy games. Okay, Soltigo, he's a faithful follower, but not a subscriber. He spends all his money on scallops. Wow, the Evans Gambit. He donated this game, guys. The Evans Gambit, though, I don't think we've analyzed the Evans here on my stream. Fun opening. Obviously, Soltigo not playing a lot of Evans Gambits. Wow, knight takes d4, dude. You actually played knight takes d4. It goes against the spirit of the opening. Piece of Sheet's twin. He has a twin. Man, dude, you can't play knight takes d4. I mean, that goes against the whole theme of this opening. You're not supposed to regain your sacrificed pawns, Soltigo. But it's interesting. You confused your opponent, perhaps, and it's not as bad. I mean, it's never been played. Why not just recapture? I guarantee Black was totally confused when Soltigo took. Now it feels like a weird, super weird scotch, but yeah, you ask yourself, why not like break the pin here first? Okay, like h6 and g5 may be asking too much. It's not what you can do for your position, what your position can do for you. Castles. Yeah. Now 95. I'm really a big fan of developing moves, and although 95 transfers the knight over to help protect the king side, maybe break the pin with h6 and g5, h6 and knight g6, not g5. Yeah, I like d6, f4, psychopathic. White has some interesting chances, perhaps. Oh, but this is the problem. Okay, this is bad. It is weird to put the knight on g6, but I think that's important here because he needs to stop you from going bishop h4. You know, there's a line of the English, dude, after like c4, e5. If you look at these lines of the English with d4, for example, it's kind of like the Scotch too, you know? Bishop b4, bishop g5, knight e5. I think they can play right away. And this is this typical kind of plan where, you know, Black will actually roll the knight over here through g6, and that's the way that we break the pin for the bishop on h4 against the knight on f6 to the queen on d8. And I think that your opponent, you know, here, he didn't realize the point of knight g6 is to take away the retreat square, bishop h4. So that's what he really needs to do. I mean, I realize you can sack a piece, do something crazy with like h4 or whatever, okay? But black should be in principle pretty good here. And the thing is, he's not interfering with his other pieces. The black bishop on c8 isn't getting obstructed by knight d7. So I think this is the key here. You know, although the knight is weirdly placed, it's against the pin, and he played knight d7, which it doesn't solve the problem of how to get out of the pin, really. What's he going to do, like queen e8? And it's inherently passive, blocking in his bishop on c8. You'd see the evaluation of the computer jumping up here. White suddenly has a really good attack going on. Probably this was slightly inaccurate. Yeah, Soltigo just blundered a tempo. Can you say that? Blundered a tempo. I don't want to get too political. Chess and politics, like politics and most things, don't really mix too well. Queen f3 would have saved you a full move. Now queen d3. Damn, dude, doesn't take the pawn. Soltigo. That's terrible, dude. That's terrible. You were very lucky. Ah. Oh. He took your bishop on b3, but he fixes your structure a little bit. So white is making little concessions while Soltigo stays in the game. You missed another chance to play bishop takes f6. Bishop takes f6, bishop takes f3. You're basically like winning a piece there. Damn, you gave him so many chances. But what's the inherent thing here? Black's passive, generally passive play. Just thematically passive, passive, passive. And eventually, like, he had to do this crazy move and he just busted. That's it. Alright, guys. Let's go back, let's go back to our stream here. What's up, World Loser? Alright, so we're gonna play another challenger here in the stream. We got World Loser, who is both a moderator and a subscriber. If we have time, I'll take Morales next. I don't think he's a subscriber. Why do I have trouble pronouncing the word subscriber? It's not easy to say it fast. World Loser, what happened last time? We've had some interesting games in the Slav. Oh, last time was a Slav. No, last time was, yeah, it was a semi-Slav. I tried to play the Nikolic variation. You know, I don't know the Marin, but I've been working on it with one of my students. But you gotta play the semi-Slav, because I want to try something different. World Loser is rude. Oh, he played the normal Slav. Yeah, every moderator has to be rude, dude. That's part of the job. So A for... to rule with an iron fist here to keep you guys in line. He's just grumpy, not rude. Okay, so we got mainline Slav. I was really hoping for another semi-Slav World Loser, but you varied on me. Oh, last time you did something weird, like you played passively. Bishop e7? Wasn't that it? Now he's gone bishop e4, so he's gone into the mainline theory now. I kind of gave up playing this line for white because it's pretty boring. The theory is like really long and white doesn't really get much. One of my students showed me a game that John Bartholomew lost to some Norwegian IM or something in Oslo, apparently. He played this very sharp line that I used to play with white. Bartholomew played a very sharp line where he grabs a pawn and gives white the bishop pair. It's dangerous. But black has lots of solid ways of playing this opening. I mean, if you want to play for a win, you know, maybe like the Slav. It's more of a solid opening, honestly, unless you're playing against a really aggressive opponent. More loser taking an inordinate amount of time. You guys are distracting him in the chat room. So you're making it difficult for him to play if you're trolling him. Bishop g6. I think it's slightly more common to castle. Oh, this is the game. Wait, is this the line? Oh, this is the line, like, that I was just talking about, isn't it? e4. Bishop takes c3, b takes c3, knight takes e4. Blah, blah, blah. But if e4, bishop takes c3, b takes c3, bishop takes e4. No, then I would play... This is the variation, right? That I was just talking about. I mean, it's not mandatory to it's not mandatory to play e4, I guess. And it's certainly not mandatory for black to play bishop takes c3 and grab the pawn. I analyzed this position like a long time ago with a very strong player. He had an encyclopedia. He had Encyclopedia of Chess Openings monograph on the Slav that was like dog-eared and had been highlighted in to the point where every single line in this like 100-page monograph was highlighted with a different color highlighter. He had analyzed this. I lost this position against Gabriel Schwartzman in the National Open. Why did I mention National Open? Another subject. So this is the Bartholomew game. It's all like a very well-known position. He's not supposed to take this pawn. I forget. I forget now. It's been so long since I analyzed this. This is not supposed to be good for black to take this pawn on c3. I don't know if World Loser is aware of that or not. But I haven't really studied this in basically like 16 years. CBM Master. Knight takes b4. Piece of sheet, I don't really need you like spamming the chat, dude. It's really a subscriber stream, so I would appreciate if you were just like, you know, chilling and being a well-behaved visitor. Knight takes a4, grabbing a second pawn. I can't remember what I'm supposed to do here. I guess take on b7. This looks very risky for black. I mean, he can't castle. That's the whole point here. Maybe I blundered? No. I think this is okay. Kicking a puppy. He doesn't seem like a puppy. It's a provocative puppy. Alright. Usually my subscriber stream is a little better behaved. You know, I kind of like, I expect it in the random streams. Basically, I do the stream for the subscribers to have a chance to analyze and play Blitz. I don't know why you guys are like trolling the chat. It's supposed to be kind of a serious stream. So don't harass the moderator. Talk politics and troll the chat. Queen c8. Thank you for being the voice of reason there, Jeroen. Queen c8. I don't really want to trade queens here, do I? So queen b4, keeping the queens on the board, I guess. This is obviously very risky. If you want to look at more games to stream and no subscribers have games, yeah, Sheppy, you're welcome to suggest something. Oh, this is not a bad move by me. But I feel like you guys kind of distracted World Loser. Taking the stream too seriously. The point of the stream is to be kind of serious. It's not going to hurt anybody to be serious a little bit once a week. This is not a bad move by me. The understatement of the year. But World Loser, okay, he was able to instruct us in a very fundamental problem with this line. Black cannot, like, play, you know, pawn grabbing variations. Let's see where he left book. Huh. Kasparov versus Bareyev, 1991. Yeah, there's this weird Naroditsky-Li Chao game, right? That's this Naroditsky and Matlakov. So John Bartholomew just copied that game in Oslo, where he played this very strange move. Not very strange move. Okay, Queen C7, Rook F C1, and now so Naroditsky, Li Chao is the one who did this. A6. I assume this is a computer generated idea, because I mean, positionally it seems kind of weird. You already have like a lot of weaknesses on the dark squares, and now you're going to play A6 and make like checkers formation on the dark squares. The idea is black wants to play C5 without allowing stuff like bishop B5. And it also has the benefit that it stops A5, A6, which is normally after queenside castles. This is the position I lost to Gabriel Schwartzman back in like 1997 or something. Like A5, and I failed to, I think in this position I failed to play A6. I did something else, or I don't remember. I don't remember if I played A6 or Knight H4. Maybe I played Knight H4 going for the second bishop pair, but I lost against Schwartzman, who then quit chess. It's an interesting game. I mean, I worked on this a lot with Jorge Samar Hasbun, and we spent like a weekend studying this variation together around 1996. It's dynamic. I mean, black has actually Jorge was thinking about playing for black this line, so it's interesting. But I think John Bartholomew lost. I'm not sure if I really trust Li Chao's idea, but the thing is, you're going to be able to play A6 and C5, and the point is to castle kingside, you know. So it looks like it's playable. Li Chao managed to beat Matlakov, but not because of the opening. I looked at that game between Matlakov and Li Chao, and it looks like Matlakov was better, and Li Chao was able to escape somehow. Okay, guys. So Sheppy sent me something to analyze here. Since we don't have any other subscribers. What's that? Your game already has been analyzed, Soltiga. He missed his own analysis. You just have to watch the replay. Sheppy, what is this game? Should I go back and see this again? Sheppy, you can tell me like which color you are. So H4, this move is kind of fallen out of fashion. It looks like what was so all the rage like 5 years ago has kind of been solved. You were black. So one of my teammates had a game in this line in the Budapest Team Championship 2 weeks ago. But it looks like, you know, okay, we'll see what you did. It looks like this is kind of like worked out now for black. You know, H5. It's also okay to play H6. I think H6 is is fine for black as well, which wasn't known like 20 years ago. I think e6 makes sense. This is not really the most common line. Now knight e7. Yeah, so queen b6 doesn't have a very good score. I haven't really looked at this in a long time. I had a friend, Pop Gellert, here in Budapest, who he's got some issues, but he's a very strong player. Gellert was playing this variation for white a lot, and he knows it really, really deeply, but I haven't seen him like this year. I could ask him about this. I'd really have to get like a secondary opinion from an expert on this variation. Looks like 97 is kind of passive. What's that? Esserman versus somebody 2017. The Maniac. Okay, knight f3. Looks like Vallejo played this. Speaking of maniacs, Vallejo is crazy. Knight f3. This is a pretty solid looking position now for black, I guess. Really recent game from 2016. Sheppy, did you... Queen b6, knight d2, knight a6 is the main line. Black plays a slightly worse ending. So you're following this guy Donchenko. Did you know about this? That this was an actual game? Probably not. Yeah, I mean Queen b6. I guess I looked at a long time ago. I think the last time I looked at this line, I was probably going to play h6. I have seen this. Yeah, these are crazy. Let's see. Knight d2, queen takes b2 is not possible here. Knight e7. This is what he's talking about, I guess. One oh, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Not looking good. That's not looking good. This is passive. This is really passive. I mean, honestly, I really kind of like h6, dude. You know? Have you considered playing this variation with h6? It seems like it's a little more solid than h5. I really don't like giving up the g5 square a whole lot, you know? But everything's possible, you know, g4, bishop d7. You know, you maybe don't like giving up all the space. So, well, anyway, h5 should be okay. So bishop d3. Yeah, so queen b6 is the main line. This move seems to score okay for black. What's the deal with this? I mean, Svidler played it. Knight f3. Theoretically, the score is bad. The score is kind of bad for black. Okay, queen b6, knight d2, and now knight e7. Instead of queen e6 has a bad score too. Wow, c5. The engine is playing c5 here. And I mean, that looks pretty fundamental. Black's pretty far behind in development, and c4 looks kind of scary. Let's see where this goes. It's dangerous. Yeah, it looks really hardcore. Very dangerous for black. Queen takes b2, rook b1. This is kind of scary. Nefedov, did you see your game? I think he must have seen his game being analyzed earlier. I'm not sure. Nefedov, you just arrived? I guess he sent the game in earlier. Okay, we went over it already. So I don't know, Sheppy. Let's see what happened in the game here. I don't know. There's so many possibilities. It's like a maze. I'd really have to have Pop Gellert here with me to properly analyze this game. Queen d3 is kind of weird. You know, I mean, it feels like the queen is exposed on the d file to tactics and stuff. Why wouldn't white want to put the queen on e2 where it's a little more safe? The engine actually likes queen d3. Wow. Say what? Your opponent played knight a3? What kind of move is that? That's ridiculous. You could even take it. Seriously, you could take the knight on a3. Then again, queen takes a3. Yeah, you're not going to be able to castle either way after that. That's kind of awkward. You could put your king on f7 if you could only play f6 somehow. You know what I mean? That would be funny. Knight a3. Bishop takes a3. Maybe white would even take with the pawn. Queen takes a3. Then the idea of knight d5 followed by f6 and just putting the king on f7 permanently. Looks almost like a fortress. You know, how the hell is white going to make progress here? You might even win a like a Botvinnik type of ending with the knight on that, the monster knights on like d5 and f5. This looks really solid. Dude, you could just rip it off. I like that, actually. It's kind of counterintuitive. I mean, bishop e7 is like a normal move. I mean, I know the knight is bad, but it's such a concrete line. It's kind of beautiful. Now it's like more murky. Once again, like, I would consider playing f6 for black here. It doesn't work tactically. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, this got kind of weird now. It would have been so much easier just to take that guy. As strange as it seems. I think it's just putting the king on f7 and knight on d5. You got like a impenetrable fortress. I love the king on f7 playing f6 and the advanced variation. Let's see what he did here, though. It looks like it got kind of weird. This is unclear now. He took that. He can't take on g7. I mean, white has more space. It does seem kind of interesting to trade the knight on d5, but it's not very ambitious. No, good job. You maintained equality here. This is kind of a weird recapture with the knight. The knight is so good, but you decide to turn it against d4. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, your knight is just blocking your pressure on the d-pawn. It's a pretty good game. That's not at all. It's like very Karpovian. Castles, kingside, whoa. What are we supposed to do with the king here, actually? Castles, kingside. Damn. Looks scary. Just nothing. Man, this opponent is going to accuse you of being a computer. You played so solidly in this game like Anatoly Karpov. And he just went nuts. White just got frustrated and tied down to the d4 pawn and went nuts. It's totally berserk. That's it. Okay, man. Interesting game. You know, I think that blockade strategy that I pointed out with like bishop takes a3, it was interesting. But it looks like the way you played it was fine too. But I mean, white went totally off the rails with knight a3. I mean, what kind of move is that? It's just typical, you know. Too much information can be a very dangerous thing when it comes to opening theory. People that are playing sharp lines, but they don't really know it well enough. All right, we're gonna go with the next subscriber. Trouts is up, and Ayesta and Aldisto. We've got a bunch of challenges from our subscribers. Nice to. It's just I like the move bishop takes a3 because it's like totally like outside the box, you know. it's like he's got you. You're taking a knight on the side of the board with your good bishop, and you can't castle both ways, yet you still have a good position, because you can play f6 and king f7. Totally different approach, though. But I think there's still some problems to solve in the opening there. I'll have to have a look at it. I'm not really playing the Caro-Kann in tournaments at the moment, but if I get to that stage, I mean, I think I would lean toward h6. But the move h4 has gone out of fashion. None of the top players are really playing it much. Well, at least not like they were. It was like the main line 5 years ago in the advanced variation. Okay, guys, subscriber stream. I'm going to play with our other subscribers. So Trouts, Ayeste, Aldisto, Nefedov. Let me know if I overlooked any of the subscribers. I didn't think that Morales and Greg's were subscribers. I could be wrong, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys might have subscribed and I didn't even realize it or credit you. Nefedov says, looks like the Alekhine Chittard variation. A little bit, yeah, with the bishop on g5. Traditionally, h5 became the main move. I mean, h4 it's a pretty modern variation, actually. Trout's playing bishop c4. I don't remember you playing this before. Trouts. We're gonna go with the Chernyshov. the Chernyshov mustache variation. Konstantin Chernyshov, he looks like Luigi from Nintendo. He's got this fat mustache going on. But one time I was sitting there and I was sitting next to him and he played knight a5. I was like, what is that? Wow, you can do that? You can put your knight on a5? He just wrecked like this 2375 IM. I was like, okay, knight a5. It's a creative move. I asked his game to analyze. Okay, I will get to it. Did you get it? I did not. He sent it twice, he said earlier. Whoa, it must have been really earlier. Where did he send it? I hope he didn't like send it to my email or something. Nefedov said, yeah, I'm talking about Chernyshov. Yeah, I guess he's from Voronezh. It's Chernyshov. I think you're right. He plays here in Hungary a lot. You sent me on the inbox here. I lost to Chernyshov, a very, very painful game last year where I was tired. It was 2 rounds a day. There was only one double round, and like I didn't feel like playing a second game. I had a really long game in the morning, and I was white against Chernyshov, and I thought, okay, you know, he'll be cool with a draw because I'm white, you know. And I had a good opening. I was like clearly better, but I did something like I would never ever normally do because I was tired. I played like a bad move to symmetricize. Is that a word? To make the pawn structure symmetrical. It was like an awful move, giving away my entire advantage to try to force a draw. And as soon as I did that, he was just like, no draw. I felt so stupid. Like I would never ever play for a draw, but I was like exhausted. I was like physically exhausted. And his endgame technique is brutal. He's a very, very good technical player. Okay, Ayeste, you're sending me now again. Thank you, because I did not see it. Maybe you sent it like a couple days ago or something. Interesting approach by Trouts here. I've never seen this before. A4. Bishop D2. It's a little bit lame, but it may not be that bad. He's certainly diffusing the exchange sacrifice on C3. That's what Chernyshov did in that stem game that I'm talking about. I mean, I can play A6 here. Or we can simply go knight C4. I almost feel like I get A6 for free. Kind of a tough call. What if I go to A6, take, knight D5? That's weird. And then what do I do? Knight C4? Okay. Let's just play this straight up. Every time you talk about your game, it's hangover or tired or didn't sleep last night or jet lag. That's what a pro does. He has an excuse for every situation. That's how you know that someone's a pro. If they don't have an excuse, then they're not a true pro, right? That's what we're saying. Now, Fudov, you know that guy, Chernyshov? Or I mean, I played him like 3 times. It's not like the first time I played him. I only lost. This was the first time I lost to him. I'm just thinking, did I ever lose to him before? Sometimes I selectively forget the games I lost. I have noticed that. I'm more likely to forget about games I lost. But I don't recall losing to Chernyshov prior to last year. There was a couple draws. I have the feeling I might have lost a game, but I don't remember. That's why I wasn't really like, thinking, oh. It was just a really bad judgment call, I was really upset about it, because if I didn't think, like, I had a good chance to get a draw, I wouldn't have played a move, which, like, kind of tried to force a draw. If I thought the guy was, like, dead set on beating me, I would never consider it, but I thought, oh, well, he didn't beat me before. I have white. It's a small world. I know the guy, you know him. Yeah. It is a small world. One of the cool things about Budapest is, like, you can walk down the street and see, like, titled chess players. That never really happened to me in Boston. I lived in Boston for, like, 15 years, and you just don't run into, like, titled chess players very often. Here it's like, I just see IMs walking down my street and stuff. I am still champion of my street. The only other IM, like, moved away because he broke up with his girlfriend, and then Julian Estrada has an apartment on the connecting street to mine, but it's not technically on my street. So I made that joke in my profile. I'm champion of my street. I hate when people, like, put their CV and their, like, chess profile on an online chess site, like, I am champion of this and that and this and that, and I won the under-7 championship for this country. It's like, dude, it's just a profile. All right, so Trouts is just hanging on, man. He's got the center kind of under control. Our dark squared bishop. Nothing much here. Maybe I could have considered not castling there and going, berserko, like h5. This is probably not a bad kind of position for that sort of fishing pole type of stuff. Maybe not a bad situation at all to do a crazy, like, not castling kind of line. But anyway, here we are. Here we are. You never knows, right, Nefedov? One never knows. I feel a little bit passive now about this position, though. That's why I said it would have been better to play h5 Topalov style. I have confidence my position is theoretically better, I would say, but it's not so easy. I can trade. I can chase his queen back with queen b6. Chase his queen back, his knight. Not really sure what I'm doing here. Maybe we have to regroup. Man, that's a sick retreat. Like bishop e8, queen b6. Trying to buy myself some time here. Oh, they have the Voronezh Open every year. It's only like 2,000 miles from the place where I lived before moving to the UK. I think I was in Voronezh once too. I went there on an exchange program. We visited like a whole bunch of Russian cities back in 1990. But it was like in a very, very short period of time. Like in a week, I went to like a whole bunch of different Russian cities. I don't even remember. I was half asleep during a lot of it. Oh, we've got the dark square diagonal here. I wasn't even thinking about that. Maybe it's a little late for the fishing pole. I had a plan. Oh yeah, the ultra slow bishop e8. I mean, I guess I could just do like G6, but E5, is E5 a problem? Maybe not. I think I can afford the dark square weaknesses here because he doesn't have a dark square bishop, but I'm banking on knight G4. My other plan, bishop E8, knight D7, is like really, really passive for black. I was half asleep. We were sleep deprived. They didn't let us sleep enough. I was just like sleeping like while I was sitting up on the bus. Falling asleep, you know, when you're like sitting up, it's very annoying when your head keeps falling to the side. You just can't keep your eyes open kind of thing. Never really a pleasant experience. I try not to get that tired on a regular basis. Wow, Trouts is out to get me here with F5. Now we have very good dark square control, but some issues. Knight G4. Alright, I can play pawn takes F5, E takes F5, and you know, hope to like activate my D7 bishop on C6, maybe. Sometimes this is not a bad try. I was thinking about knight G4, but there was something that I didn't like about that. Well, now it's out of the question because of knight D5 being a weak square. Okay, I can usually rely on beating Trouts on time, but I'm not sure I'm going to beat him in position here. His pieces are pretty active. A5, queen B4. I've got, very importantly, like control of the A4 square. He can't. Uh-oh. It's a very quick capture on G6. It looks like he's got something in store for me, like queen H6 or something with a piece sacrifice on G6. Okay, I have knight G4. Knight G4 will probably save me. If bishop takes G6, F takes, I always have like bishop E8 in some positions. So I'm thinking very prophylactically here. Queen H6, knight G4. Bishop takes G6, F takes G6, Queen H6, Bishop E8, I hope. Bob Sacamano, Trouts did well. You know, he played this game pretty well. I didn't like the opening where he's basically giving me the dark square bishop for nothing. It felt wrong, but I didn't really play most likely the best. I think I committed to castling too quickly. You know, sometimes I don't, you know, I'm too busy talking and not thinking, and this is another good move. That takes away, like, bishop E8 defenses if I have to play rook E8. So now I'm more than a little concerned about this. All of his pieces perfectly mobilized. Queen c7 is very passive. Okay, maybe rook c7, man. This is getting awkward though. Rook c7. He's got an immediate combination winning 2 pieces for a rook there. That can't really be good. Rook fe8, rook... Well, I mean, screw it. I'm going to have to do this. Oh, this just loses the same way. Great. Well, we'll just hope that... yeah, that was smart. We'll just hope that... maybe I could play queen d8. I don't know. I don't like my game anymore. We'll hope that my 2 pieces for a rook isn't so bad. He has to have good technique to win it. It's not like it's an automatic win. Rook takes e7, rook takes e7, rook takes f6. I could play queen e3. Maybe trade queens. I still have a strong bishop on c6. I don't know. Trouts, you gotta look for more. Maybe bishop takes g6. I thought I could hide my king on f7. Hide it in the middle of the board. What else was I supposed to play there? You know, by the way, you know, this is very awkward. Like queen d8 is just utterly passive. It's not like I had a good move. If queen d8, I was afraid of knight coming back to d4 with a very good position for white. So Trout's rook takes e7, rook takes e7, rook takes... He didn't see it. Man. Now I'm going to survive. Oh, now he goes queen h6. He prevented knight g4. That was his secret plan. But I've got too much activity here. Too much counterplay. He was so close. Then the knight, like the bishop here. Why is there no win for me? Rook e2. There's no mate. Oh my god. I need a tempo. I hope I didn't miss something obvious. Rook e3, yeah. Trouts, you just win 2 pieces for a rook, man. Just a simple technical win. a4 novelty. It's not a bad move. Actually, the computer didn't like my move rook c8, but damn, I gained like a tempo there. I have the bishop pair. He even goes back there. So in this position, it's like really dumb to castle. I mean, the engine says that's the best move, but I really like this. This looks like a very dynamic way for black to play. I don't have to castle. I just leave my king on f8 or e8 and play with the 2 bishops. I can just stick the fishing pole knight there on g4 and put my queen on b6. I don't know. This looks really promising. Anyway, Trouts simply has that move. So I'm supposed to play bishop d8. You see, I was thinking he had something here. Yeah, apparently he does, but it's not devastating. Rook e3. This could be a strong attack. You know, he's just transferring here and mating me. Apparently I have to defend very, very carefully in this position. I just got a message. If you guys want to contact me during the stream, don't expect me to answer the messages there. What's up? Trout said he was in another game. What? What's that, another game? you were playing another game at the same time in a simul. So I blundered here big time. I have to play bishop d8. Trout-Smith's rook takes e7. I guess this is just an easy win, because my d6 pawn's hanging too. I was going to play this, but I mean, it's another pawn. So it's not just... Yeah, it's worse than that. I mean, I'm threatening mate. Okay. King g1. Something like rook d8. This is a nightmare for black. Look at his knights, how strong they are. Those two knights for a rook. It's game over. Just a matter of time till black loses there. So good game, man. Ayeste is challenging me, but he wanted to do a game study. Where did it go? No way, dude. Ayeste, my preferences definitely aren't set that only friends can message me. I get messages from random people all the time. Is it something on your end, Ayeste, that's preventing you from sending me messages? Dude, I get messages every day from random people all the time. It's definitely not on my end. So I'm gonna take this challenge from Ayeste. And I don't know what's holding up the game study though. I just got a message from a random person right now that I was reading. I don't understand what it is. Something's blocking you from sending me that message. Guys, I'm streaming till yeah, we're streaming till 9:30, 9:35. We started a little bit late today. Ayeste. Let's play the Scandinavian. I mean, I haven't been playing this much lately. I like to play d5 and knight f6 sometimes. So Trout's good game. You just failed to play the simple two-move tactic. I failed. I was looking for, like, you know, I was seeing things that were, you know, minor problems and overlooking like a major thing. Here I am worried about like bishop takes g6, him sacking a piece, when I'm just dropping two pieces for a rook. You know, sometimes you have to take care of like the fundamental one move threats before you start worrying about ghost variations. So I don't think that knight c3 is dangerous. He's transposing to an Alekhine's defense. Glenny, I'm basically doing this stream for subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, I'm going to hold off the challenges. Most of my other streams are welcome. You know, everyone's welcome to play. I mean, everyone's welcome to play here too. But I usually do the stream. I invite the subscribers and mostly play with them. So I'm not going to play a lot of games outside of the regular subscribers today, because we've got game analysis in addition to the Blitz games. So Nefedov, you can take a look at the stream later. I was talking about your game in that you've got to think about that d5 variation. Are you going to seriously go into that? You know, not the line I play with knight g3, but the other variation seems kind of risky for black. You know, is it even sound? Is it even sound, Nefedov? Nice game against Yellow Dragoon, and you played well against me in that knight g3 variation. But the real question is, can your Schliemann stand up to the, you know, knight c3, knight takes e5 line? Because that looks like a serious problem for black. Arsenal fan was angry because he felt he'd been playing a lot of computers on the site, so he was kind of tilted earlier. I guess he didn't feel like hanging out for the stream today. But I had a message from him. He was pretty frustrated. He felt he had played like some computer cheaters today. I think that it's something we have to get used to and not to get freaked out about. There will always be cheaters in online chess. We just have to manage it. I get frustrated too. You know, it's very frustrating. Like, you lose 50 rating points, you have to like get it back. Nefedov said, oh, as I said above, I'll watch it on YouTube as I usually do. I stopped playing e4 against me. Too lazy to learn the main line, as it turns out. Unfortunately, there are more pressing issues than the Schliemann for me, theoretically. Nefedov. We don't get too many Schliemans. Not my first priority if I have to spend some time on something. Alright, this just looks like, you know, kind of a standard position. It's like a Philidor reversed. It's unusual to see IS to get this passive straight out of the opening. So we kind of surprised him with a Scandinavian. Just a kind of slightly passive Philidor. I don't know where to put this bishop on f8 though. Maybe just here. But we don't have too much. It's a very, very minor advantage for black. It's basically hard to win with black, period, against anybody. Yeah. Well, it's funny. Bob Sacamano said John Bartholomew left lichess for ICC because of cheating. Dude, I think there's like 2 people left to play on ICC. I played them both yesterday, and both of them were very unpleasant, unpleasant people. I don't really play on ICC, but not because of computer cheating, other issues. But there's almost you know, hardly any players left on there. I mean, the site is so, it hasn't gotten better since like 1995. It hasn't changed since 1996, I think, when I was playing on dial-up. Bishop e3. All right, let's bear down on that backward d file. But this move makes some sense. He's pretty strong, Ayeste. I don't want to underestimate him. He's got a plan here. Black has some spatial advantage. It's a very small advantage, but it's kind of lasting. It is pretty cheap for a paid service, I guess. I donate more to lichess than I would pay for an ICC membership, but I'm happy to do it, you know. I really, you know, I want to support lichess, and I appreciate what they're doing. So it's my pleasure to support a good site. I don't really want to support a private enterprise that just benefits a few individuals who mistreated me. That's not something that I would really want to do. Rook on f to d8. So ideally, I guess my rooks would normally go like here on d8 and e8, bearing down the central files. But now I've played a5. This is a weird move. I feel like Ayeste doesn't really have a plan playing bishop g5. He wants to trade pieces, which makes some sense. I don't know. That's a plan in itself. It's not a very deep plan, but it is a plan. He has less space, so he wants to trade pieces. I can play f6, but it weakens my white squares considerably. I don't like weakening my white squares here. What are my options, really, though? That's a nice move, Nefidov. Ayeste, it's outside the box, you know. This is a really thoughtful move. Okay, maybe I'm being too sensitive about this white squares on the king side business. It's not the end of the world. I can play this. Botvinnik would like this structure for black, I'm sure. We've got to watch out for knight h4 now. I don't want to trade pieces with the space advantage. That's the fundamental thing. It's kind of like a Marazzi, you know, this pawn on e5, pawn on f6. Well, any site, dude. I mean, chess.com and ICC are both for-profit private companies that benefit a handful of people, you know, that are the owners of those companies. That's why I like lichess. You know, it's not about benefiting some individual owners of a for-profit company. There's enough of that going on in the world already. Pretty much everywhere you turn. Now he played c4. What is going on with c4? What is Ayesta doing? It is not really his normal style to create this massively backward pawn on d3. We've got kind of two advantages. We've kind of frozen him on the queen side here with a5, a4. This could be sort of backwards. He's got backwardness here. It reminds me a little bit of the reti, where white plays like knight f3, d5, c4, and allows d4. Then there's a line with e3, and pawn takes e3, bishop takes e3, stuff like that. There's a backwardness on d4. He would like to play maybe f4 to chip away at my monster pawn on e5. The next move. Yeah, if you guys have any messages, I will get back to it off stream. Knight takes e5, queen d7. Yeah, we got like really good strategic advantage here. Online chess is very much dominated by tactical stuff. A lot of players playing ultra bullet and getting really good at tactics, but strategic chess is going to become a forgotten art. You know, if everyone continues to play like 30-second ultra bullet, if you can improve in strategic chess, that's the hardest thing to do. Everyone is getting good tactically and very fast, but here, you know, I'm trying to focus on strategic concepts mostly. Now he played queen c2. He's kind of like I would think he's trying to buy time to play something like rook d1 and maybe support d4. Bishop f5 is possible, but he can hit it with knight h4. I don't have time for a4, rook d1, knight a5, d4. This is a bit of a problem. I can see him. I could do something really insanely crazy here. b6 followed by bishop c5. That's really extreme. b6, rook d1, bishop c5, take. Just sit on the position. Alright, I mean, he's in time pressure. I'm going to weaken my structure if I go for this, but it's kind of interesting. Going to keep him clamped down on d4 forever with bishop c5. Is it correct? Only the shadow knows. But it feels principled. Everyone has a different perspective on the game. Nesmedina would be thinking of ways to like sacrifice his bishop on h3. You know, I'm not looking for that here. I'm just looking for like an ironclad control of the position. You know, d4. Not giving him any counterplay. I think Botvinnik would approve, but I'm not sure. I can't ask him. Alright, so we damage our pawn structure. Whoops, we almost mouse slipped. We damage our pawn structure voluntarily to get the monster like clamped down. Clash Kid. Where is Clash Kid? Did Clash Kid give up his challenge against me? Bishop f5. Rook b8 is another good move. There's really very little counterplay for white. We're tying him down to a second weakness. Two weaknesses. I have weaknesses too, but they're harder to attack. I always joke with people. You know that saying that if a tree falls in the forest, does it really make a sound, right? And no one's there. If a weakness, you know, is weakness really a weakness if nothing can attack it? I mean, that's the thing about c5. If nothing can attack it, then how is that a weakness? I don't understand, you know. Now we start Thinking of ways to build up the pressure. I'm not sure if this is the right idea, but I'm running out of ideas. I'm trying to blitz him out here. Dobes. Drugs are good for the soul. I haven't tried enough yet. Okay. We've got a really good bind. It's hardly a winning position, but very serious pressure here. Now I thought he was going to play bishop d1 to keep me off. I push him back now. I mean, I could sacrifice a piece soon. You know, I have such dominant control of the position. Still, he's got bishop d1 when he wants later on. Oh, wait a second here. Okay, bishop d1 is not on. Bishop d1's not on because of d3. Ayesta going fully passive. We almost had a... Did I miss a sacrifice on h3? Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, now he's like sandwiched himself. Man, this is brutal. I guess he doesn't have any tricks. Now you can try this ending. I mean, it's objectively lost for white, of course, but he's still got some practical try, maybe. Running out of gas, though. I can always kick his knight off of d5 with c6. So it's not really helpful for white. Let's just keep an eye on him. c6. He just resigned. Okay. Yeah, it's painful when I sit there thinking and I've got a huge time advantage. Anyway, interesting game. I thought it was really insightful for both sides to talk about these things. I was proud of my move bishop c5, b6 and bishop c5. I'm not sure if it's objectively the best, but it was interesting. Alright, so we will be back with more games here. I never got the message from Ayesta with game analysis, so I think that's it for that. We'll just continue to play like 2 more games here. Aldisto, and I'll try to get that game against Morales if I can. Mr. Olka, Oliver Mihawk is online. Two strong Hungarian players. I think they like to play Crazy House a lot. Not Crazy House, like 3-check and other variants. Mihawk and Dodge Gobbler. Oh, it's chess 960. Speaking of variants. Okay, Aldisto. I didn't even realize you were challenging me to chess 960. Good for your game to play chess 960. I lost a blitz game to Aldisto last night. I was so tired at around 9 o'clock, but it was a good game. I mean, he played really well. I think it was probably a draw and I messed it up or something. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with your message, Ayesta. I can't figure that out either. Why I didn't get it. Guys, this is my subscriber stream. I'm taking challenges from subscribers, a handful of other players. The other day, Aldisto played like an f4 King's Gambit against me. He's just doing it. He's doing it here too. On the all right, we're gonna take it. It's the Queen's Gambit accepted. It's almost like identical to the other game, except the other game it felt like a King's Gambit. Here my king feels safer. We just keep taking things, or we can attack the center. But his d4 pawn is really secure. You know, sometimes you can't just get nothing. I mean, I've got to at least undermine his center with something like c5 if I'm gonna play. You could play c5 here. c5, d5, I would assume. The d5 like bothers me a little bit though. You know, I'm not sure I really like that. We'll grab a second pawn and then it's clear. You know, we're playing guerrilla warfare style chess here. We're taking the pawns and running away, or something like that. Anyway, principle. My queen is a problem, though. I gotta get my queen in the game. Oh my god, I had a weird hallucination. Oh no. I had a very strange hallucination here. I mean, I'm playing too much normal chess, and I thought that my bishop was on c8. So I thought I was playing bishop b7 next. Anyway. Is there a lot of pork in Hungarian cuisine? Well, I mean, this is probably the case with most Central and Eastern European countries. Pork is the most common meat in most, like, you know, home style recipes. It is the most commonly consumed meat in the Hungarian menu for sure. I mean, it's obviously more expensive to raise cows than pigs or any other animal for that matter. Chicken is, you know, not really a traditional food in the same way that pork is. That's our lesson on Hungarian cuisine for today. So, by the way, I live in Budapest, Hungary, and I have since 2004. So if you have any questions like that, you know, feel free to send it in. People ask me all the time, why do you live in Hungary? Because it's a cool place. Okay, bishop d3. What's that about? It looks like a kind of slow move, doesn't it? Kind of creepy, crawly. Moving the bishop from the back rank like an up close and personal bishop. It's almost like my king was on c8 and he's trying to like check my king on c8. What's up with bishop d3? Now, I could play bishop c6. I had a hallucination I could play bishop b7, but bishop c6 again. Knights before bishops, that's what they say. Knights before bishops. Where do I want to go here? I don't know. We're up a pawn. Hardly the most significant factor in chess is material. I was just going over one of my students' games where like both he and his opponent were just like way too materialistic. It's just like one of many factors. I think if anything, I'm probably not materialistic enough. Is this a crazy move to play knight? It's awfully slow. Knight d7. But I didn't really like my knight on g6 or e6 particularly. It feels more natural on f6. Maybe I'm just trying to turn it into a normal position. I don't know. Carp is too fishy. I started to eat catfish. I had never really eaten it before. But it's quite good here. If you come to Hungary, I recommend. If you have to eat seafood, you can probably order the catfish. There's not a lot of ocean seafood, obviously. Bishop c3. So it's kind of creepy crawly with the bishops there, you know. He's a pawn down, and he's making these up close and personal bishop moves. e6. Man, he's gonna pulverize me on that diagonal though. I've got to be careful about that issue. This could be a problem. We've got to fight for the e4 square. We've got a couple ideas. This is a possibility, and we're stopping e4 momentarily. Actually, knight g3, he's kind of asking for it, for me to play like h5, h4. One of my arguments why knights are not good on knight 3. He's a big fan of the knights on knight 3. It's a lazy way to play, but maybe good here. I mean, they're coming out quickly, but it is prone to be attacked by the rook pawn. Most importantly, I've stopped e4. I've won a pawn, which is a kind of temporary status. Threatening knight e4 maybe. But now this is what I expected, but well, if I play h5 e4 anyway, and then he's got the center rolling, so I can't just sit back and let him run me over with e4. It could be a problem. I could sack a piece. I could sack a piece with h5, e4, h4, and knight takes e4. Craziness. Let's do it, man. We only live once, and I'm running out of time. I'll just sack a piece. I've already got a pawn. That'll be like 3 pawns for a piece, with really good coordination. Powerful bishop on b8. Yet to arrive at the scene, but it will come eventually, and when it does, it's going to be angry. We're going to sack for his center here before it hurts me. I don't know if this is objectively enough, but I don't want to get overrun. And I thought it would be fun. And I've already got a pawn in the kitty, as they say. So we've got 3 pawns for a piece, and we've got long distance pieces. Maybe this diagonal could turn out to be really monstrous for black. A little h3 knight g5 action. Who needs castling anyway? Natural predators. Put your pieces into familiar places. Yeah, knight d7, knight f6 is a good practical idea. Well, I'm playing against his knight on b3 right from the get-go with the move b6, and then I played against his other bad knight with h5, h4. Now we just go for checkmate, basically. Queen b2 looks kind of slow. There is a slight threat, maybe. Am I threatening knight f2? Man, this looks kind of devastating. I don't want your... Man, this looks devastating. There was this game in Zalakarosh I played. Oh god, he castled queenside. I totally missed it. Oh no. He was like... He totally faked me out. Oh my god. Now I'm like lost. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Just 960, no. He can castle queenside. I completely forgot about it. Alright, we just gotta get beyond the embarrassment and play the position. We still have 3 pawns for a piece, better structure. Man, that's stupid of me. I totally forgot. Oh my goodness. This is a serious problem. Aldisto. I was so naive, you know, to think, oh, I'm just winning so easily. We got the king in the wrong place. Can I castle queenside? What about now? What am I going to do now? We're going to go back? This doesn't look healthy anymore. My bishop on e8 is protecting my f7 pawn. This is so irritating. Okay. It's still not that easy for him to kill me. This actually defends g7, which I was concerned about. The weakness of g7. How about an endgame? Let's play a nice, calm endgame, Aldisto. Let's trade the queens, play a nice, friendly endgame where, you know, the respective king positions don't really matter. Okay, what's going on? Is this some kind of tactical trick? Having hallucinations now. Oh my goodness. I hallucinated something horrible. Wait, can I castle? Bishop c6. I could sack the exchange even. I know this seems crazy, but his bishop is so dangerous and the open file is so dangerous. You know? I got a pawn for it. So I have, like, what do I have? 4 pawns for a rook? I seriously have 4 pawns for a rook. Is that a normal material balance? It's a good practical try. Play with 4 pawns for the rook. I'd like to get 4 connected pawns for the rook. Wow, he's trading queens. What is going on? Well, now it seems unnecessary to sack the exchange. But I've got to be careful. I mean, knight f5 is a strong threat. Alright. Crazy game. Almost played king f7. It's like ridiculous. I guess I could have played e5 there. Welcome to my central pawns. Mother of coordination. Man, he's so tricky. If I can win some material back, everything's protected. Just give me a knight or something. Guys, we have time for like one more game after this. We got a knight check. I think it's really necessary. Now we've got 5 pawns for a piece. That's a lot of pawnage. Okay, I'm threatening d4. I think he overlooked it. The four pawns for a rook attack. That was crazy. We rarely get to play a game like that in normal chess. Wow. Really insane, dude. Nice. That was a fun game. I mean, obviously he's probably better. You know, maybe like winning when I blundered queenside castles. The computer thinks it's marginally sound, but risky. But now I have a good game after h3. I should have just played like rook takes h3. Knight g5 may have been the key mistake, taking the pressure off of f2. Alright guys, I'm going to play Nefedov and maybe Morales, because Morales has been waiting like the whole time. And then we're going to close down the stream. Yeah, that was definitely one of the most fun games we played, maybe ever. That was awesome. I mean, it's always more fun when you win, but I think that even, you know, Aldous still will have enjoyed that game. Chess 960 is good for your understanding of like coordination of the pieces. I sometimes get confused, you know, with castling. I thought my bishop was on c8. If Nefedov isn't here, we'll just go to the challenges against Morales and King Chaser. I have time for like 1.5 games, basically. I've got to go. It was hard for Aldous to coordinate there. I think maybe we lost Nefedov. See, the thing is with Nefedov, sometimes he may be like on public transportation or something, and on the train when he's playing in the simul, and he loses like connection on his mobile or something like that. So it's possible we lost him. It's better a fun loss than a boring draw. I agree, definitely. Okay, I think we lost Nefedov. I'm gonna play with Morales. He's been waiting to play. And then if Nefedov doesn't show up, you know, maybe I'll play that last game against King Chaser. So I want to encourage you guys to subscribe. I really appreciate the support. It you know, it kind of helps make it possible for me to do the stream. You can also check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube, where I do upload the streams, and I also play. I also make videos on other subjects, Grandmaster games, sometimes opening analysis. I'll also review sometimes events I do here. Like tomorrow is Blitz in classical chess in the morning on Friday, but on Sundays I do a simul at 7 p.m. No, 6:30 p.m. CEST. So we're still summertime here, I guess, for another week or so. Yeah, I don't know, man. I did not see castles queenside. That's the thing. If you play chess 960 on a regular basis, you're gonna see that move coming. But I was so naive, you know. I often see strong players kind of underestimate their opponents with moves like I did there against Aldous. I mean, sometimes people are just like blind, you know. You're like, there's no way a strong player would let me play knight g5 and just like checkmate him here. And yet you do the move anyway, like ignorant of the possibility, or actually the certainty that this strong player would never let you just crush them, you know. And like when he castled queenside, I was like, yep, that makes sense. I knew that this was like too good to be true. So if something seems like it's too good to be true, and you're playing a strong player, like they're giving you material, and you can't understand why, I mean, you gotta really take your time and ask yourself, what am I missing here, you know? Guys, Sunday simul at 6:30. We have Blitz and Classical Chess tomorrow morning. I'll probably play a simul for like 20 players on Sunday. I have a team game on Sunday, so I'm usually a little bit tired when I have a game in the morning. We have an excuse for everything. All right, GRSA man, yearly classic. Oh, like on lichess, the yearly classical. Okay, E6. Yeah, I used to play Queen B3 here. I did that against Kozak Adam in April, but it's very little for white. I'm kind of sick of playing this move. So I guess we should do C takes D. And most of the strong players opt for this. I was explaining to one of my students recently, I don't like D4. It leaves white with no flexibility in their pawn structure. Years ago, my friend Jesse Cry was playing this this setup with white. I remember about 15 years ago, and I was thinking, oh man, this is so lame for white. Why does he play that, you know? And here I am playing the same kind of thing now. It's a very, very minimal edge for white. You know, if I had time to study, I probably would give this stuff up. It's just not really enough advantage. I know that it's hard to get an advantage in any opening, but white doesn't have much space here. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks to Jeroen and World Loser for being here. I'm not going to be able to play, you know, anyone outside of maybe one more game. King Chaser. You know, King Chaser, I'd rather play like 5+3. If you have time to re-challenge me, and you're watching the stream, if not, you know, we'll do what we can. Bishop D6. This is a slightly unusual move in the structure because it can be prone to like piece forks. He can be prone to piece forks with E4, E5. It's possible to play E4 here, but I don't really know, you know, what the follow-up is for this position. I mean, if I had a free move here, I'm probably winning a piece with E5. But if he castles now, which he probably will, I'm not really sure I have an advantage. You know, I'm not really sure I have anything. So, King Chaser's probably not listening to the stream. Oh, we don't have E5. Obviously, he just takes it now. We have Bishop G5. That's weird. I guess we should just go here, you know, and play this strange structure with our knight on the most aggressive square we can go to. But I'm kind of new to this position. As I said, I was always playing Queen B3 in this line. And I used to play a lot of D4, sometimes E4, even the English opening. I basically play everything. I can play anything with white, pretty much. You have us, Will. You have us. Whatever that means. Knight C3. Oh, you don't. I don't know what I have here. You have us. I have stir-fried scallops for dinner. Now this is getting interesting. Okay, I don't really like that for black. I mean, it feels like he's going against the general kind of structure he set out to create in the beginning. It's turning into a King's Indian now. Now he trades, so he's got some idea here. He's actually losing the exchange immediately with C5. I guess I have to take it. He will get a little bit of compensation, but it shouldn't objectively be enough. See, that angry pieces come out very powerfully. I think it was Lasker, if anybody wants to confirm that. Lasker #1. How about a knight on G2? The fianchettoed knight is a killer. If I have to retreat it, it's going back here. King Chaser is like always the last guy to challenge me. And I feel bad because he's been like the bubble more than anybody in history. Oh no, black's threatening the nastiness with 95. Oh man, that's not good. We've got some white square weaknesses we have to be careful about. I guess we just have to bite the bullet and play f3 at some point. I knew that he would have some compensation. I did say it like from the beginning. I did make a disclaimer basically. Knight g2. Bouncing back around the e1 to like hold on to the f3 square. It's a very awkward situation, but I don't see how it can really get me. Too slow time control, too fast. When you decline a challenge, shouldn't they have an option of why you declined? When you decline, shouldn't they have an option of why you decline? You could write like questions for the SATs or something. I know English is not your first language, but you just you just confused the shit out of me with that sentence. Okay, when you decline a challenge, shouldn't they have an option of why you declined? He means, okay, yeah, he means like, shouldn't they, kind of like know why I declined? Is what he's trying to say. Everybody speaks English in the Netherlands. I remember my friends went on not me, but my high school went on some trip to the Netherlands when I was obviously in high school, and I was like really shocked, my friend was like, everybody speaks English there. I couldn't imagine that like a country in Europe, like everybody would speak English. Okay, bishop takes e5. I'm just going on weird conversational tangents. But now I think that Morales is, he's running out of ammunition here. He kind of had better there, I think. I'm saying kind of too much. We're back to knight g2 again. Knight f3. It's a weird defensive setup. An option to add. I mean, have an option to add when you decline a challenge. I thought you meant like they should know why I declined. Uh-huh. Right, yeah, well, I mean, that's interesting suggestion, Jeroen. I was thinking today, like, somebody was challenging me, Krukun, the dark horse, FIDE master or whatever, and I felt bad for declining him, but I didn't have time to, like, write him a message about, like, well, I couldn't play you because I was teaching a lesson. Well, I couldn't play you. There should be, like, a little, like, busy now, the doctor is not in or something, Alright, it looks like a weird Marshall Gambit. Black is running out of things to do. King Chaser and Greg's. I'm not going to be able to play you both. We're just going to trade pieces. I'm going to play the game with King Chaser. Greg's will be the bubble today, but hopefully next time I'll remember, Greg's didn't get a game. And we'll get him next time. Got serious threats. I hope the King Chaser would change his challenge, but I don't think he was listening. Alright. He's got a different delay on his end. He's always late. Oh, you're gonna tell Krukun. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to accept his challenge, but I was teaching a lesson, and then I like, it was like a 3-1 challenge, and I don't want to play, that fast time control on my stream. If Yuri like wants to play like when I'm streaming, tell him that that it's like 5 + 3 minimum, because he's never played me, he's never played me on my stream, so Alright, King Chaser. It's the last game for today, guys. I'm going to close down. Yeah, he seems like a nice kid. We played a game in the last round of Zalakaros and analyzed and talked a bit after the game. I don't always analyze with all of my opponents like John Watson. John Watson's object of the game is to have an analysis session after. And the winner of the game is like who wins the analysis session. Did you guys ever meet anybody like that? Like, it's a kind of weird thing, but occasionally you'll meet people like that who... Man, King Chaser, I played exactly the same game. This is my one win against Tony Miles on World Chess Network back like in 2001. And another strong FIDE master played h3 against me. And yesterday a guy played h3 against me. So I'm like an expert. It's a very obscure move, h3, and I think it's weakening and probably not good. White's supposed to play c3 here for d4. Miles, I played like probably 5 games, and I only won once. He won like 2 or 3. We had like a draw or 2. But I did manage to win, and I'll never forget it. It was like a 30-minute game or something. My one and only win. He was so good, like, in technique and stuff. It was ridiculous. Alright. So, there is a little trick there. If they take on f5 and I take with the bishop, you have to be careful about this tactic knight takes e5, d takes e5, rook takes e5 check, which can win a piece on f5. Which I learned the hard way, probably in some blitz game. I think I blundered it in some kind of similar tournament game once. Knight bd2. This is actually very similar to the game I had the other day. Also some other games. I don't really like the way White's played it. It's kind of passive. But I have messed these kind of positions up before. Perhaps rook b8 here. I wonder if queen a4 is an issue. I just hope. Nigel Short actually played that in a very early move once in this variation. Well, I think that Short has done it after like c3, knight f6, some very early queen a4 I saw once. I definitely need another line against the Rosalimo because I'm too predictable, and you guys could even prepare for this setup that I play. Oh, you said I'll be away for 20 minutes. That's why I didn't play. Sorry, Nefedov. I missed that one. No, the delayed d4. Whoa. How does this work again? It's kind of exploding the position in the center, which seems counterintuitive in a way because I've got the bishop pair. Yet it's not so easy to exploit. Okay, maybe I trade my double pawn off. Then I'll play pawn takes pawn, take, bishop f5 and e4. I take twice on e4 and then I guess I have to take with the pawn. We'll take and play bishop f5 and then push e4 with a fluid pawn structure. I guess he could take on e5. That would be a weird move here. Pawn takes e5, pawn takes f3, pawn takes f6, bishop takes f6 with 2 bishops, slicey dicey bishops that look pretty good for black. I am going over stream time, guys, so it's definitely past bedtime. I'm a big believer in King Chaser, though. He's been the bubble too many times, so I don't feel it's fair to stop the stream before this game. We'll be back tomorrow morning, and we'll play some Blitz and Classical Chess. Sunday simul, 6:30 p.m. 20 players, 30 time control. I want to thank you guys for being here with me. And, you know, if d5, rook takes e5, that's not good. Now I have this move, though, which makes the whole thing work. I mean, I can push to e4, and I have a kind of dynamic position, let's say. I just think that h3, I don't remember how Miles lost. I had some kind of attack on the king side, but h3 is, you know, it's prone to allowing a sacrifice on h3. It's like playing white, you know, on the white side of the Tarash, sometimes it happens. On the white side of the King's Indian, it happens that there's this bishop sacrifice on h3. You know, that's why h3 is kind of sketchy. It weakens the white king side a little bit in a position where it wouldn't normally be necessary. But anyway, it may not be the end of the world. We do have some dynamic attacking plans like queen e8, queen g6, Dutch style, Jeroen. All of our pieces are really, really well coordinated, really active here. Rook on b8. It also has lateral mobility. You could swing it over like Victor the Terrible. He liked to do that in the English opening, swinging rooks like laterally, or you know, this rook b1, rook b7, and across. We have a lot of mobility. There's no queen b3 check. He has to go knight d2. There's nothing else. I mean, knight h2. Okay. And now the question is, I was thinking about sacking a pawn, but there's nothing there. I can't sack a pawn for nothing here. I might have bishop h4 though. My friend David Vigorito had a very similar game against Uncle Yermo once, where David was black in this line in a game I remember in Vegas, and David drew very quickly, but I thought maybe he had been better actually. But he might have gotten in something like bishop h4 in a similar position here, although like bishop h4, knight takes e4, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes f2. White's probably okay there. You know, I think I have to play d5, and I don't really want to trade this pawn, the shell basically. It's like a shell. Now I can just operate like behind the shell. We're going to set up our pieces to attack there behind our turtle shell. Everything here, do the VK maneuver, maybe bishop d6, and we'll have a Frank Marshall type of Petrov or something. That's it. That's the plan. Wow. Yeah, I don't think even Uncle Yermo did that. Maybe he did do f3. Okay, Uncle Yermo didn't play h3 against my friend. Uncle Yermo knows better than to play h3. Now we go bishop h4. I mean, that's starting to look pretty nasty down there. Though I don't know what the next move is. What can we do here? It can't hurt to play bishop h4. Well, it actually could. It could hurt. You know, if I want to line up my queen and bishop in a battery, bishop h4 feels kind of artificial. Almost like a cheapo. But I need something concrete here. Bishop f6 sacks a pawn. I mean, bishop d6. So I applaud King Chaser for his bravery, you know. He realized, like, if he doesn't do something, he's a dead man. And as ugly as it looks, as risky as it looks, you know, maybe f3 is the only chance, because otherwise he's playing a very, very passive defense. I mean, I kind of expected, like, knight f1 with a blockade, an attempted blockade, you know, but it may be an entirely indefensible position for him. Anyways, I'm looking at some interesting stuff here. Bishop d6, take, queen h4. I need an extra tempo for that to work. Where is my follow-up? I don't know. I feel like bishop d6 is wrong. I could play bishop f6, queen b6. But that misplaces my pieces if I play queen b6. Actually, queen b6 with the idea of... Queen b6 with the idea of... what? Just taking the pawn. Queen b6, knight b3, just take on f3. No, I can't do that. It drops. Queen b6, knight b3, bishop h4. Followed by... Or we could just play bishop h4. Screw it. Then we'll play queen b6 next move. Among other possibilities. We might have queen g5. Can we do bishop takes h3? Does this work ever? Bishop takes h3 is nothing. So the big idea was to attack his d4 pawn and get him to move his knight so I can take on f3. I guess we'll just, you know, do what we plan to do. For whatever that's worth. We've got a limited amount of time. You like queen g5. But queen g5 allows knight takes e4, Nefyadov. Are you sure you can do that? He's got a bishop on c1. Can I do that? This is a problem, you know? And maybe I'm like winning after queen g5, knight takes e4, queen g6, you know, threatening queen bishop takes h3 or something. This move I did see and I'm a little concerned about it. But it shouldn't really hold. We made him, I don't know what else to do. Okay. So he's hanging on here. But our bishops are looking really, really monstrous. This is, you know, not good developmentally for white, obviously. Now, knight b3 holds this position together on the queen side, but the king side falls apart. And otherwise, the center and queen side may fall apart. But h3 is the move that I find to be suspect. Doesn't have to be, but in this variation it is. We'll see after the game. Alright guys, we're going to wrap it up after this game. Okay, now I don't really want to trade queens, I guess. Let's say I have a forced win. We've got to watch out for surprises like knight c4 or something. Oh, there's back rank mates. Oh god, that looks really, really dangerous for him. He's got some... Ooh. Bishop takes e4. Or pawn takes e4. I even have bishop... I have other moves. Oh man, I have some crazy moves here like bishop g4. Oh no. Not so easy. Yeah, we just take, I guess. He's got new checks. Checks. I probably had something I didn't see. I mean, knight c4 just leaves him like... It leaves him a pawn down. Maybe that's the best try, I don't know. Well, what else is he going to do? Knight takes e4 looks like suicide. Knight b3. Well, knight b3. He's still alive after that. He's got to play that. I mean, maybe I go c5. No, he's got a blockade. A kind of reasonable blockade. Nimzovich. I'm not sure if this was the best move. I'm getting a little loopy. Finally, we have like lateral mobility with the queen. It's probably too late to be relevant. We've won the battle for the center. d5 is like no man's land. Now he's guarded a back rank. really ought to have serious threats. It's always serious here. Still no knockout blow. I don't know what to do next. Taking the pawn is kind of materialistic, to say the least. He has bishop a5. I could take on b2. I mean, it's really weird to play that move, though. What am I supposed to do here? Okay. Alright, I'm just making a bad move. This was a blunder, I guess. I wanted to open up pressure against g2, but I think it's a really bad mistake. It's just a catastrophic blunder. He can take on d4 first, and then take on e4. I can take on b2. We might have some tactic, though. Let's see. Bishop takes h3. Not really enough there. I wanted to do this. Doesn't seem like enough, though. Might as well grab a pawn. Oh. I definitely did not foresee that move. So I've totally ruined my position. Now it's like a draw. So I can get something on the 7th rank. I think this game was a little too much. It was like martini time for me. We can get a pawn, maybe win this pawn. Opposite colored bishops, the important thing is the initiative is what I'm trying to say. The initiative is everything. Whoa. I feel like he's setting me up. This is like objectively probably kind of drawn now. Good game. Very good hanging on there, King Chaser. Yep. I let it go. D4 was way too risky for white. I mean, he did this to himself. Here he could have played d takes e5 too. You know, now he's got a clear problem. And then I messed this up. So f3, bishop h4, rook e2. Let's see what the best move is. Wow. Hard to say. Queen f6. There is a compromise. Maybe that's the best move. Nefedov. Look, queen b6 looks okay. Queen a4. And now I played bishop f6. takes e4, bishop takes. So apparently I was winning here if I did bishop takes e4, because there's too much danger to his king. I didn't see a forced mate. I thought he could do this. But apparently it's mate in 4. I did not see this as mate in 4. Because of bishop e5 check. Apparently bishop g1 wins as well. So King Chaser got a little bit lucky there. I really should have played bishop takes e4. You know, now it became kind of technical. I'm sort of blocked. You know, he's got a blockade going on. It's not so easy to win. But I made just a terrible blunder. I didn't see like what the best move was here with 2 minutes left. Just taking the pawn on b2. I might as well play that. You know, it's not so easy to win anymore. And I just blundered. You know, after this, he's fine. And this is really objectively drawn. But we both made some mistakes there at the end. Still, I guess it's a draw, huh? I didn't like bishop d6 here. I could have defended with rook b7 maybe, something like that. Objectively, it's a really tough ending. I mean, it's probably a draw. Not enough material left on the board. Anyway, good game. Nice job, King Chaser. So we will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. CEST. Thanks for joining me for the subscriber stream. Thanks to you guys for subscribing. Subscriptions are half price on Twitch. And check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Please donate via PayPal if you can afford it to support the stream. Thank you to World Loser and to Jeroen for being here and for you guys supporting me by helping. Anyway, guys, it was really fun. Good job, King Chaser there, hanging on from a tough position. I should have played bishop takes e4. Failed to calculate the forced mate. So that's it, guys. Simul on Sunday, Blitz Classical tomorrow morning. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.